Celebrate Thanksgiving with Safeway. This week at Safeway, get whole Signature Farms frozen turkey, 10 to 15.5 pounds for $8 each, or 16.1 to 22 pounds for $10 each. Member price of the minimum $50 purchase, limit one per household. Plus, packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, 7-Up, Dr. Pepper, or AHA sparkling water are buy two, get three free. Limit 3 free items. Also this week, get 5-pound bags of Signature Farms russet potatoes for 97 cents each with digital coupon. Limit 1. Visit Safeway.com or head in store for more details.
Hi, my name is Richard Dix, and this is How Did That Happen? A podcast where I look at everyday things or events and try to figure out how they came to be. Every week I will research one topic, and by the end of the episode, I hope to truly have the answer to the question, how did that happen?
Hello, and welcome to another episode of How Did That Happen? This week we are discussing dreams. Do you have them? Do you remember them? Come along for the ride this week as I ask, dreams, how did that happen? All right. So we're back for another episode. I took another hiatus last week, and this one I didn't tell you guys about. It was a difficult time. And like I said, I think 2 weeks ago, I just was having trouble bringing myself to the mic, and I don't know. I thought I could go on and say, I'm not going to be around, or I could just not be around, and then come back and start posting episodes again. So I think that's just what I'm going to do. I haven't been on Twitter for this week just because I was just like, I know I didn't have anything to really offer. But I'm going to try to get back on it now, and we'll just keep trying to get back on this horse and try to keep putting out episodes. And so I thank you guys for pressing play again. This one's about dreams, and this one's a little different because this was one of the first, and I think I say it in there. It's one of the first ones where it's not cut and dry as to where they come from, how they happen, why we have them, stuff like that. A lot of the other stuff I've talked about has been products or inventions and stuff like that. This is really just a product of the brain, and that we're still studying. So I can confidently say at the end of this, we will not know how dreams happen. So if if that's why you're tuning in, granted I know if that's the podcast, it's I'm not the guy that figures it out. But I do look into it and try to give, some insights, some information, and try to explain, why we do what we do a little bit in our heads, if anybody knows. But yeah, so I'm just, like I said, I was gone for the week before. I'm going to try to, get back on it and just keep putting these episodes out for you guys. Yeah, thanks for listening. And without further ado, here is the episode. Okay. Wikipedia defines a dream as a succession of images, ideas, emotions, and sensations that usually occur involuntarily in the mind during certain stages of sleep. The scientific study of dreaming is called oneirology. I watched a video where they suggest that dreaming is temporarily being psychotic. And it sounded crazy at first, but he explains himself, the guy, doing the video, and it made a little sense. He had 5 reasons why he says that this was true. He says, 1, you're seeing something that's not real. So you're hallucinating. 2, you believing things that couldn't actually be true, meaning we see some things in dreams that we just, either are not our reality or just more than likely not, couldn't actually happen, whether you're flying or just some of the things I've seen, I just know could not be true. But that's you being delusional. And then there's third one is you became confused about time, place, and person, which is a form of disorientation. 4, your wildly fluctuating emotions, which I don't know if anybody's ever just woken up either super happy from a dream or super mad or sad. I know I have. And it's crazy how something that happened while you were asleep can really affect your day. But they call that being effectively libel. He said it. I didn't look it up because I just figured, it's enough for me to believe the other 4 out of 5. I don't even have to look up what that means, but I get it without knowing the definition. And then the last one, number 5, he said, is that you woke up the next morning and forgot most of it, if not all, which we'll talk about that later as well. And that's could be called amnesia. And as he said, if you had any one of these 5 symptoms while you were awake, you would be seeking medical help, medical attention, because, that's not okay. But because it happens while we sleep, it seems natural, which like I said, he really kind of made sense with those things. He's like the guy was like the leader of dream sleep whatever study at USC. Obviously it's not called that, but Merriam-Webster does an analysis of the word dream, and it's worth repeating, worth reading. They said that the Old English word dream referred to an auditory or emotional sensation that one experienced while awake. It was synonymous with joy, noise, or music, and by the 13th century, it began to be known as what it is today. They say that it's because the Brits had fought so many battles with the Scandinavians during this time and before that their word for dream, the Scandinavians, which is drömmer, began to infiltrate the vocabulary of Western Europe, specifically England, and their vocabulary took up space basically in that current word. Along the way, the word becomes known in the Middle Ages for like being distracted from reality in some way. An example, she lives in a dream, oblivious to all practical concerns. Like after they kissed, he strolled away in a dream, stuff like that. And like and I might mention it in the intro. I'm not sure if I did or not because I haven't done it yet. But there's gonna be part history of dreams and also part like the idea and the study of dreams, because this is one of the first topics that I've done where it's like there is no like clear winner as to like how did it happen, who did it and why do we do it, whatever. It's really just after I've looked at a lot of stuff on how dreams happen, and that's basically come back to we're still looking into it. Like I said, the study of dreams is called oneirology, and they are still trying to figure out why we do it. But they figured some things out, and we'll probably touch on some of those. But yeah, like I said, I feel like it would be it's hard to talk about how dreams happen in humans if I don't talk about how humans have felt about the dreams over time. So everyone has an opinion about dreams, whether it be that they just don't remember them. That's still an opinion. My dreams have always been available to me. I would love to be a person who writes down their dreams in like a dream journal or something like that. But the times that I have, it gets kind of weird. Like I said, I have some weird dreams, and I don't think I'll share them here. But yeah, I read one. Yeah, we're gonna move on. When I hear people talk about their dreams, it makes me realize that just like everyone is different, everyone dreams a little bit different. In Mesopotamia, about 5,000 years ago, the earliest recorded dreams were documented on clay tablets. And that must have been really difficult because for me, I have like a 2-hour window, if anything, to, when I wake up after my, sleep to remember my dreams. And it probably takes more than 2 hours to jot down your dreams on a clay tablet. But it's estimated that we forget almost 95% of our dreams within the first 10 minutes of waking up. And that makes a lot of sense because on average, I don't remember my dreams very often. I mean, I remember them, but it's not something that stays with me. It's more just like, oh, that was an odd little 20-minute movie I watched right before I got up and went to work, but then there's sometimes where it just like hits you in the heart, or you just see some crazy stuff, and that stuff stays with me for a while. Like I really can sit here and still think of some of the dreams that I've had in the last couple of weeks. I don't really have dreams that, stick with them. I'm always surprised when people say things like, I had a dream 5 years ago, and I'm just like, well, and I guess that's a lie, because like there's like one dream in my mind I can honestly remember from like 5 years ago. Yeah, I guess that's true, but other than that, I really don't. Other than that, I couldn't tell you anything that I've dreamt about more than a week and a half ago. I really couldn't. In the Roman and Greek periods, people believed that dreams were messages sent directly from deities, dead people, or that they were literal messages from the future. And they were even said to be cultures that practiced dream incubation, where they would actually try to use their dreams to predict the future, which sounds pretty wild. The whole brain is active during dreams, from the brainstem to the cortex, and dreams are said to mostly occur in REM sleep, and this was discovered at the University of Chicago in 1952. The researchers were conducting a sleep study, and they noticed a unique type of electrical activity that in the brain during a certain stage of sleep, and which they then called REM. And when the subjects of the study were awoken during this time, they woke them during when they saw that crazy electrical current happening. They were almost always said to be dreaming. That's when they realized, like, oh, like the REM sleep is actually, where dreams occur. There's a large connection between REM and memory, and there was a study done on mice that deprived them of REM sleep. And how did they do this, you ask? They put them on a small clay pot in a bucket and filled the bucket up with water till almost the edge of the pot, so the mice couldn't go anywhere. And then eventually they would get tired and had to go to sleep. And so they study what happened when they sleep. The stuff we do to mice, man, is ridiculous. But meaning that if they fell asleep, they would fall into the water. So the mice, he wouldn't fall asleep, when he fell asleep, he wouldn't fall into REM sleep, because that's like your deep sleep, which gives you like the least amount of control, and you could easily fall into the water at that point. And so they were able to study what happens with mice after they haven't had REM sleep, and they realize that they had bad memory, they couldn't conduct normal tasks and stuff very well. So they put the two and two together and realized that REM sleep is very important for the brain. And this basically means that the brain needs to dream, because if the brain doesn't get enough REM, which is where dreams happen, then it becomes hard to do normal tasks like remember your password or other stuff like that. What actually happens during REM sleep is called synaptic efficacy refreshment, and that's like what we're talking about. How like your brain really needs that part of the sleep to be functional. And this is when the brain cycles through and consolidates both recent and old memories at a slow rate, which, I mean, if you have ever dreamed, it kind of just sounds like that. I'm always just like seeing stuff that, some dreams I'll be in my house, or some dreams I'll be in a school that I went to, or, what's wild is like sometimes it's like my brain has created like this whole like neighborhood or something, that it's like that I understand. It's almost like I know it's not real, but I know when I'm here, it's not real. It's wild. Let's see. There was a study done in 2003 that says that at least 50% of what we dream about can be traced back to something that actually happened to the person in real life, basically a memory. And this is what makes people think the hippocampus has a lot to do with dreams, because that is what is the part of the dream. That's what a part of the brain that controls memories. And this has been somewhat debunked, since there are studies before that have showed patients with a damaged hippocampus can still dream, and the dreams may even incorporate a recent memory that they aren't even conscious of. Recently, it has been theorized that the hippocampus is able to construct novel, imagined scenarios and stimulate possible future events, which means when you're sitting there being worried about the future and you're imagining all these bad things that could happen to you, your hippocampus is working overtime. And so we think the reason we experience dreams is as real, or that as real as that, is because the pyramidal neurons send out internally driven signals that are confusingly similar to waking signals driven by real external sensory stimuli. So it's almost like your brain is tricking itself into thinking that you're still going through some stuff just so you can go through some stuff. Dreams tap memories stored in connections between brain cells, which the hippocampus tracks as they form. There's that hippocampus again. And at night, it directs neurons to replay recollections, facilitating long-term storage. That could be why reality seeps into our visions, but it's not why they tend to warp reality. There are some other aspects of dreams I'd like to touch on, such as lucid dreaming. Lucid dreaming is the act of knowing that you are dreaming while still dreaming, basically. And I've never really had too much. I've never really dealt with this before. I've known people that have told me about it, and honestly, most of them I thought were lying. But maybe they're telling the truth. It's more like like because you may not be one of me. But it's like I said, my dreams unfold kind of like a movie, or like there's just I'm watching something happen in front of me that I don't have much control over. Lucid dreamers have the ability to control the things that happen in their dream. For a long time, this was something that could not be proven, and there have been studies done now that show that this does actually occur in people, but it's only about 1 in 5. Somewhere between 20 and 30% of the world population are considered to be lucid dreamers, and that is how dreams happened.
And now it's time for the roundup. And we're going to round it up.
The first recorded dreams were found in Mesopotamia 5,000 years ago, written on clay tablets. The word dream is a mix of English and Scandinavian. Our dreams occur in REM sleep, and that is the most important type of sleep. 20 to 30% of people have what are called lucid dreams, where they can maintain a level of autonomy while still dreaming. Things I didn't know before, and now I know them. Never heard of these things. What are they? So this, I guess this segment will also be a little different, because I thought going into this, I would not, assume, but thought that there would be some sort of answer to where dreams come from. And, I left out some of the heavy scientific talk just because I knew I didn't understand it. And I figured filtering their words through my words wouldn't help anybody else understand it more. But like I said, they still really don't know. I think what was interesting to me, and what I didn't know before, was how interesting or how necessary REM sleep is. you know, how necessary you need, like how all or a lot of mammals need it, and that's where dreams happen. I didn't know that there was such a connection like that. It really does almost make sense when you say that, you know, the type of sleep needed for regular human activity, you know, is also the same where you where you dream, and that dreaming has probably more to do with our lives and than what we probably give it credit for. I know, at least for me, you know, just the fact that we play images in our head when we sleep. I don't know. It only comes. It only matters when it does. You know, it's only when like you're going through something and then you dream, and then you're like, oh man, like my dreams are really like replaying to me versions of what I'm going through in life, and that's when you kind of does get kind of philosophical, and you're just almost like, I don't know. It's kind of weird. So to hear that there is a real connection between that and like needing it to have like decent sleep does make you wonder if there's more there. But I didn't really have anything this time of like specifically like blow me away, things I didn't know before. I will say that the drama thing, like the Scandinavian word for dream, drama, and how that, what they said, and I don't know if I actually mentioned all of it, but it's that they were the ones who really came up with the idea of that word meaning dreaming while you're sleeping. So like the other term, which is what I said was like the British word for it, was like a dream, which is almost like a catatonic kind of, you know, reality. You're not like fully there, but you're there. Whereas the Scandinavian term for dream was like you're asleep. Like they, you know, it was the word for what we have. It was the word for, you know, actual dreams, and that it was, you know, another European country, and that the word was so close already. You know, that was interesting to me. I definitely had no idea about that before. Didn't know where the word dream comes from. And if you get a chance to look up, you know, on Merriam-Webster's, they break it down. They really do. There's like a whole page on, you know, this is where dreams came, or this, you know, what the word dream came from, and what people thought about it, and how they pronounced it at certain times and stuff like that. That's where I got all this information from. But that's really not what happens in this segment. But so that's pretty much it for that. Okay, that's been another episode of How Did That Happen? This week we covered dreams and found out that we still kind of don't know where dreams come from, but that's okay, you know. Like I said before, about earlier in the, you know, in the intro, I am still trying to get back on a regular basis with posting these. What I'm going to really try to do, if I'm going to really give you some inside baseballs, I'm going to try to bank some of these, if I can just get enough energy to just, you know, kind of put them away, so it's never really a problem for actually, you know, putting them out. So we'll see how that goes, but at the very least, you know, I'm only 1 week off as it is for now, and this will be coming out. I'll either put this out right now, or I'll put it out on Monday, because I'm not sure if I'm going to do some others, you know, and kind of make this a makeup for having missed the past week, or if it's going to roll on. I'm not sure, but if you made it this far, you probably care a little bit, and so thank you for that, and thank you for pressing play, like I say every time, and I'll see you guys again next week.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.